Welcome back to Chicago. The White Sox have returned from a road trip that saw them in Detroit and Cleveland and are in search of a win to get things moving in the right direction. They'll face the Boston Red Sox for a 3-game weekend series. Miguel Vargas and crew getting ready to roll. They will welcome a brand new White Sox into the fold. Chase Mydroth, the 8th overall ranked prospect, will make his MLB debut tonight. He'll play second base and bat 7. The first of many prospects we may see here in 2025. The starters for tonight, Davis Martin and Sean Newcomb. Each guy has had one up and one down start so far this season. Both looking to get themselves on the right track here in start number 3 of this young 2025. Welcome into the ballpark, everybody. I'm Connor McKnight. Great to have you with us. And it is with a lot of excitement that I tell you, it's our first Friday night access of the year. Every Friday night here on CHSN, we're going to bring you all the access you can handle for the White Sox. With that, we head down to the field. Brooke Fletcher caught up with Brooks Baldwin. He's got too many mitts to even name, so we asked Brooke to, help us through how a guy handles that many positions. Brooke?
All right, thank you so much, Connor. I'm here with Brooks now. Brooks, you take a lot of pride in your versatility here. Mentally, how do you stay ready any given night?
Still getting my ground balls in the infield every day. And during BP, I like to go out at either left or right one a day and kind of get some fly balls, some ground balls, maybe throw the bases from the outfield just to keep everything sharp.
I mean, you play a lot of different positions. I'm curious, how many gloves do you bring to the field, and how do you keep those ready to go?
I think I got 6 or 7 in my locker as backups, but I only got 2 one for the infield, 1 for the outfield.
Well, Will Venable just praises you for your calm demeanor, says you're very even keel in the field and at the plate. What do you attest that to in those high pressure moments?
Just a lot of how I was brought up as a kid. I was very quiet as a kid, didn't say a whole lot, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. I keep a lot of stuff to myself, but I think that just knowing who I am as a person helps out more than knowing who I am as a ball player.
Well, tonight you are going to get mic'd up, so we're going to be expecting a lot of talking from you, Brooks. So are you prepared, and have you warned the guys that you're going to be wearing the mic tonight?
I've warned a few people, and they're kind of skeptical as to why it's me because I don't say a whole lot.
All right, well, we'll see how much Brooks is going to talk on the broadcast here tonight. Guys, when we come back, Davis Martin's looking to bounce back from his start versus the Tigers. We got John and Steve on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
White Sox baseball on Chicago Sports Network is brought to you in part by Toyota. Visit your local Chicagoland Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Illinois Lottery. Illinois is full of winners. Play today. And by Wintrust, Chicago's bank. Show your team pride with a White Sox debit card. Get yours at wintrust.com/Sox. Member FDIC, EHL lender.
Oh, it is good to be back here in Chicago, and the White Sox will give the ball to Davis Martin, who will start game 1 of this 3-game series against the Red Sox. Last September on the 6th, Davis Martin pitched against the Red Sox, and he pitched pretty well. 6 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. Let's see if he can have a repeat performance here tonight. What's up, everybody? Welcome in the booth, and a special welcome back to my guy, Steve Stone, back in the building. How's the voice?
Well, I rented a voice for the broadcast tonight. I think it's going to be okay. It was not existent in Cleveland, but I think we're going to be fine tonight.
It is great to have you back, as always. All right, I'm John Schriffen. Davis Martin, basically a tale of 2 starts. Good start, not so great, but let's see what he does here in his 3rd performance.
First 2 times out were completely different. One, he threw the ball exceptionally well. He was hitting his spots. He was changing speeds. He was doing everything right. Second time out, it was not so good. 3 barrels allowed, 2 home runs, 7 earned runs. And unfortunately, it was one of those games where things just didn't work very well for him. Hopefully tonight, he will have his stuff. He won't use the middle of the plate. That's the danger zone for most pitchers, but especially for Davis Martin. If he's filling up the middle of the plate, he's going to get hurt. And the Tigers showed him that they've got some bombers on that team. So as you can see, middle of the plate, it's a problem. The edges, he pitches very well. And the only time he saw this Boston Red Sox team, he was very good in September.
Coming up, getting the call, Chase Mydroth, making his Major League Baseball debut tonight for the White Sox. Let's see what this young 23-year-old has in store here in Chicago.
If I could turn back.
Field here. You've gotten a lot of praise, especially from Chris Getz, for how sound you've been defensively. What part of your game at third do you take the most pride in?
I mean, just be ready every single pitch. I think that's what get me locked in and, be ready for every single ground ball.
Your pre-pitch planning, what goes through your mind before each pitch?
I mean, just trying to be ready, trying to be on time on the ground to, be ready for whatever, I think that's my mindset. I think try to be ready every single pitch. That's what I get to sell this year.
You're showing a lot of discipline at the plate. How do you find that balance of staying patient but also being aggressive when you see that right pitch?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to see a good pitcher to hit. I think, obviously have my plan, whatever day is that day, just trying to follow it and, try to get advantage from it.
All right, Miguel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll send it back up to you in the booth.
Thank you, Brooke. First pitch from Davis Martin is in there. Strike one. It is good to be back home. The White Sox were not able to pick up a win on the road trip to Detroit or Cleveland. And trying to snap this 8-game losing streak with game one here against the Red Sox tonight. Duran with the ground at first. Lenyn Sosa with his first ever career start at first base will step on the bag for out number one. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. Duran, we just saw ground out to first. Rafael Devers, he has really picked it up since a slow start. Alex Bregman, the newest third baseman for the Red Sox. Casa Story, Abreu Campbell, Blake Sabol, and Ceddanne Rafaela gets the start in center. Big swing and a miss there. Strike one to Rafael Devers.
Davis Martin going to the mound. This is his third start. The first he was really good. The second he wasn't too good. And for him, he's got to hit the corners. He's not overwhelming, especially the middle of the plate. That's how he's going to use it tonight. The changeup and the four-seam fastball are 1 and 2 with the cutter and the slider right behind. The key tonight for Martin, you have to keep these Red Sox off base because their runners will run consistently. This is a team that will try to run you out of the ballpark.
There's a lot of drama in the offseason with the Red Sox, specifically at third base. We talked about Alex Bregman, the newest guy signed in a big offseason deal, but Rafael Devers felt like third base was his for the Red Sox. He is now the DH, and to start the season, might not have gotten over that. He was 0 for 19 with 15 strikeouts, but since he has turned things around. Popped up to shallow center field. Amaya drifting back, and there's out number 2.
Let's take a look at the defense and how they line up behind Davis Martin. It's Michael A. Taylor with Luis Robert and Brooks Baldwin in the outfield left to right with Vargas, Amaya, Mydroth, Major League first game. Lenyn Sosa at first base. Omar Narvaez behind the plate. And we told you about Davis Martin.
So Brooks Baldwin was a late addition to the lineup about 10 minutes before first pitch. We thought Austin Slater was going to get the start in right. Not told why as of yet, but Slater scratched and Baldwin will start in right field instead. And Bregman has been plunked with 2 outs here in this first inning.
Bregman stands right on top of the plate, pretty much inviting the ball in. He normally is a dead pull hitter. And Davis tries to run this fastball inside, catches him off the tricep, and Bregman is aboard. He does wear that padding there, so, and the Red Sox very much hoping that he's okay. He's one of the keys to this team. Behind the plate tonight is Quinn Wolcott. As you can see, just a bit pitcher friendly, which is delightful. Although the hitters might argue with you.
A 1 pitch here to the first baseman, Tristan Casas, as he fouls it off down the left field line.
It's a little chilly tonight. 47 degrees, humidity 49%, and the wind not that much of a factor, but it's blowing left to right.
Beautiful shot up above over right field as the sun is setting here in Chicago.
Was a gorgeous day today.
0-2 to Casas. Might have caught a piece, not called. 1-2 the count.
Pretty good pitch. It did have a piece of the plate. Quinn Wolcott thought it was up and away.
Red Sox first baseman. He missed almost 100 games last season with a rib cage injury. They're going to hope that this year he can be consistent, as they need him to be a power bat in the lineup. One-two here from Martin. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on that changeup. Good start for Davis Martin on the mound. Sox bats coming up after the break. his feet, DHing tonight. Taylor's in left, Baldwin's in right. Chase Mydroth making his Major League debut. Omar Narvaez, welcome back to the Sox. And here's the starting pitcher for the Red Sox.
Sean Newcomb going to the mound. This is his third start. A total of 8 2/3, an ERA up over 5. Lifetime, this is his 63rd start in the big leagues. Let's take a look at his arsenal, and he's not overwhelming with anything. He'll use the cutter first, backed up by the four-seamer, so he's basically a fastball pitcher with a sinker at 17%. What he can do is throw a lot of ground balls.
One ball, one strike here. The count to Vargas as the changeup missing. Ball 2. White Sox general manager Chris Getz had a lengthy press conference today, and one of the topics was about Miguel Vargas, and just talked about how much the organization has confidence in Vargas and what he has done and what he's changed so far since being in a Sox uniform, saying we believe in him, especially what we've seen defensively, how many runs he's able to save with the play he's made at third base.
That was one of the big things they told him to concentrate on, and that is first step quickness at third. And this year he's been really good. The arm's been good. It's been very accurate. He's able to get to the ball both going to his left and going to his right. Now he's got to pick it up a bit offensively, and you would think that that's going to come around. He's had some very good at bats. He's seen a lot of pitches, and so far doing a very nice job at third base, trying to seal up that left side defensively.
2-2. And you talk about seeing a lot of pitches. That's one of the reasons why they feel comfortable with him at the top of the lineup. So many times we've seen this in a full count to start the ball game.
And this will be pitch number 7 coming as you look at Alex Cora, the skipper. Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense. It's Duran, Rafaela, and Abreu in the outfield, one of the best outfields in baseball defensively. Bregman, Story, Campbell, and Casas in the infield. Blake Sable behind the plate. Sox can run on him if they get a chance.
Another pitch fouled away by Vargas. These are the kind of quality at bats we're seeing up and down the lineup for the White Sox. And the organization feels like the metrics are there to back it up, but at some point you got to start seeing some results and some wins starting to pile up.
This is really a nice at bat. You see double figures, which is a 10th pitch coming. You know you're getting the job done as a leadoff hitter. The outfield shading him around toward right center field. Big gap in left center if he can get out in front of one of those changes.
Pitch number 10, and another one fouled off into the seats. Sean Newcomb in a battle with Miguel Vargas to start this bottom of the first inning. What a quality at bat from Vargas to earn himself a walk.
He saw 11 pitches, and Sean Newcomb will put a lot of men on base. Anytime you see a whip up over 2, that means a lot of earned runs coming your way.
First pitch to Luis Robert Jr. The fastball missing inside. Something we've seen out of Robert this season. His walk rate is going up than years in the past, and that's something the organization's been working on with him. Being a little more selective with his pitches at the plate. That one is put in play to the right side. And Robert's going to be tagged out by Casas as Vargas advances to second with 1 away.
That was an excuse me swing, and unfortunately it stayed in the field of play.
So Lenyn Sosa showing his versatility. He has played 3 games in the big leagues at first base for a total of 5 innings, but tonight his first ever start at first base.
That's what Newcomb is going to use a lot, that cutter into the right-handers. Does throw a lot of ground balls because of his sinker. But all things being equal, he's going to try to run it in on the right-hander's hands. If he doesn't get it in there, goes out of the park in the bullpen.
First, the lefty Will Venable stacking the lineup with 8 righties tonight for the White Sox. 1-1 here to Sosa. And the cutter just finds a piece of that corner. Strike 2.
This one just barely catches the corner low and in. You can see the change goes down and away from right-handers. That's the pitch that he likes to use when he's in a situation where he has to throw a ground ball.
Two here to Sosa. White Sox scored 12 runs over the 6 games on the road. 5 of those 12 runs were scored in the first inning of games. So if they're going to try to push something across, it has been here in this first. One-two. Funky slurve in there, called strike 3.
Lenine hasn't seen this very much, and now he knows that it's a good put-away pitch. It's almost a knuckle slurve. As you can see, the index finger is bent. Newcomb feels he gets more spin on it with the bent index finger, and that one worked very well.
Sean Newcomb is a guy who signed a minor league deal and was invited to the big league camp for spring training for the Red Sox. But because of all of the injuries so far, 2 starters who are still down right now, the veteran lefty made the opening day roster.
They're going to get Lucas Giolito back in the not too distant future. They don't know exactly when, but he'll be a welcome addition to that rotation. We know about Garrett Crochet. We're going to see him Sunday. What a matchup that is on Sunday. Smith and Crochet going head to head.
Wow. And Vaughn takes strike 3. After 1, no score between the Red Sox and the White Sox. And that sent Garrett Crochet to the Red Sox, and the White Sox getting 4 big prospects back in return. One of them, Chase Mydroth, making his Major League Baseball debut at second here tonight.
Good thing to keep Trevor Story off base. He's 4 for 4 in stolen bases. This entire Red Sox team has swiped 19 bases. They've only been caught twice.
Paul Clemens at first said Story did not go around. 1-1 the count. Story in his 4th season with the Red Sox.
It's been pretty much injury plagued. Now they know he can hit, they know he can run, but his arm is not a typical shortstop's arm, so we'll see if that comes into action tonight.
This one's sent on a line to right field. Baldwin doesn't have to move much. And there's the first out here in this 2nd inning. And it's time for our live lines presented by Circa Sportsbook. Let's check out the odds for Davis Martin strikeout total tonight. We've seen that consistently. It seems like the sportsbooks are trying to get a feel for our pitchers. Over under at 4.5.
Seems like a fairly low total, but I think he'll probably go over. The stuff looks pretty good tonight. He's got a good idea where he's throwing it, and he's throwing it for the most part where he wants to. Except for that.
There might be something to this announcer jinx.
Abreu off to a great start. He won a Gold Glove last year.
It's this one hard and just over Mydroth at second. So there is the first hit for the Red Sox, coming with 1 out here in the 2nd inning.
We'll take another look. This is a cutter, and it's down and over the plate, and Abreu hits it awfully hard. He swiped 1 base this year. He's 1 for 1.
Here's a second baseman, Christian Campbell. And this was the big question mark in spring training for the Red Sox. Second base, who would take over? Who would get the opportunity? And Christian Campbell, so far in 13 games here with the Red Sox, he has been the guy reached safely in every single game he has played so far this season.
Not much of a lead at first by Abreu. He's trying to force the best move that Davis Martin has.
Sinker is in there. 1 ball, 1 strike the count here to Campbell. Davis Martin threw 12 pitches in that 1st inning. Over at Maya's head at short, so back-to-back singles. And there's 2 on with 1 away. Your Chicago White Sox are presented by Rate, a top mortgage lender in America, proud to celebrate 125 years of baseball. With next-level technology, competitive rates, and a fast process, Rate makes your home buying journey simple and stress-free. Rate, your home team. Get in the game at rate.com. So a little traffic on the bases for Davis Martin to deal with here in this 2nd inning. As the catcher, Blake Sable, steps in. The cutter missing inside, ball 1.
Connor Wong was their #1 catcher, broke his finger on catcher's interference. So he's not going to be around for a bit.
On the ground up the middle, Mydroth backhand, the flip to Amaya over to first, double play, turned. How about Chase Mydroth making it look easy at second?
Good way to turn 2, keep your pitches down, and Lenyn Sosa dropped the ball, but it was on the transfer, so he's out there, and a good way to get out of the inning.
with pitching coach Ethan Katz. Ethan, there was some traffic on the base pass there, but from Davis Martin, they were able to get out of it. What have you seen from him so far that you've liked and want him to continue?
Yeah, he's getting the fastball and his cutter up in the zone to the lefties and using his changeup like he would. So right now he's doing everything we would expect him to do.
Garrett Crochet, he's back here at Guaranteed Rate. First off, have you had an opportunity to talk to him since his return?
We text back and forth, but the first day of the series are always tough, so I'm going to see him tomorrow.
You know, you have a relationship with Andrew Bailey, their pitching coach, when you guys were with the Giants here. You know, what sort of insights have you given him throughout, you know, his time with Garrett's time with the Red Sox, just to kind of help with that transition?
Yeah, I let him know some of the stuff we went through, because Garrett made a lot of adjustments last year. And, you know, he returned the favor with Cam Boozer to me and, like, gave me all the information on Cam so we could, you know, both be prepared for when both players showed up to spring training.
You know, Garrett was talking about just the familiarity between you two, how your styles are similar. What did you learn from Andrew during that time with the Giants that you've kind of translated into your coaching style?
Yeah, I mean, you know, first time Andrew was in the dugout, you know, so he kind of leaned on me on how to, like, maneuver in the dugout, talking to players and stuff like that. But just, like, we really clicked, you know, with our philosophies of how we, you know, using secondary stuff and how we want to use the fastball.
All right, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Guys, back to you.
Brooke, thank you so much. Brooks Baldwin is mic'd up tonight for us for Friday Night All Access. We appreciate Brooks for doing that, but also a late addition to the lineup. So he had to get ready. He's playing right field, and here's his first at bat tonight. Shows bunt and pops it up.
Not a bad idea with a left-hander on the mound, because left-handers fall off the mound to the third base side. So if you can push that bunt by him, really puts a lot of pressure on the second baseman. And Campbell at second is not exactly a long-time veteran.
We saw Michael A. Taylor with a bunt to get on to start this bottom of the second. And now Baldwin swinging a miss on that slurve, strike three. Well, here he is, the 23-year-old Chase Mydroth, making his major league debut. Here is his first at bat here for the White Sox.
And it's great that it comes against the team that traded him away. You have enough incentive against any team that trades you away, but in your first major league game, it's extra special.
Chase said all last night when he got the call and people found out he was going to make his big league debut, he had so many people reaching out to him, especially guys in the other dugout, because he spent his minor league career with the Red Sox. He said at one point, got to the hotel here in Chicago, I had to just turn my phone off. He said I had to just tune it out, and I let my agent take care of my family and friends and all the ticket stuff. I wanted to just focus on baseball tonight.
And talking with Will Venable before the game, I asked him, when he sent Chase down, what did he tell him to work on?
There's a steal by Taylor, and he will take second base.
Well, we told you can run on Sable, and that's going to be there all night long. So Michael A. Taylor with a good jump at first. It's not a great throw, but I don't think there's much of a chance to get him anyway. But what Will said is he wanted Chase to be more aggressive earlier in the count. When you're a good contact hitter, you don't mind falling down 2 strikes, and that was his pattern in the minor leagues. However, sometimes in the major leagues, you see a good pitch early. You don't see a hittable pitch after that.
This is what he's known for, a walk in his first big league at bat. He led the minors last season in walks.
Well, I asked him what it was like when he got sent down. He said for about a half hour, 40 minutes or so, he was really unhappy. And then he realized that this is a great opportunity for him. Go down, work on what they wanted him to work on, and he would come back in the not too distant future. And as you can see, he didn't stay down all that long.
No, he did not. Here is Omar Narvaez. Narvaez was called up due to the injury to Corey Lee, and Narvaez is also a very interesting story. He was in camp with the White Sox in spring training, was basically the 5th catcher, and he was told by the organization, we want you to stay around, but because we have high prospects at AAA, will you stick around in AA? And he said yes. That one is tapped foul. He took the assignment to AA Birmingham, knowing that he just wanted to get consistent at bats, and here he is with an opportunity with the big league club.
Well, they told him exactly the way it was with Caro and Teal. Those are two guys they view as future major league players. And Omar knew exactly where the situation was, and he took advantage of it.
Strike 3 called. Second strikeout this inning for Newcomb. All right, it is time for home cooking. And because of the success of the Campfire Milkshake last season, this is the new inspiration, the birthday cake shake. Cheers, Steve. This thing is incredible. Birthday cake ice cream. You got confetti cake here. You got a pinwheel cookie, and you got the cherry. Don't forget about the sprinkles. This thing, I've had it already. It is phenomenal.
I'm a big fan of sprinkles. I like them a lot. It's got some cake here. It's got just about everything you'd want. And all wrapped up with 50 calories. That's all.
That is a fair ball for Amaya. Taylor, he's going to score easily. Mydrop, he's hustling. They're waving him in. Mydrop, he's going to score. 2 RBI double for Jacob Amaya, and the Sox take a 2-0 lead.
Jacob had 1 run batted in all year. 2 with 1 swing, and the Sox take the lead. That's that cutter. I told you if he doesn't quite get it in, it's going to be hit hard, and that's exactly what happened here as Jacob drills the ball down the line past Bregman. It doesn't go in the corner. It bounces straight out, and the good Sox ahead by 2.
You love to see a guy like Jacob Amaya have success at the plate. He has been grinding since the start of the season as Mydroth on his horse hustling over from first base to score.
Well, it certainly is good to see a guy with speed on the back end of a double and scoring from first base.
To 0 to Vargas. Lifted high in the air to center field. And Rafaela will make the grab. Friday night, all access. Josh Barfield, assistant general manager, will be on the mic with us for the next inning. We'll talk about everything going on behind the scenes with the White Sox when we come back. Sox as we start this 3rd inning. Davis Martin, a good start on the mound. Welcome inside the booth alongside Josh Barfield, assistant general manager for the White Sox. Always appreciate you spending some time with us. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, we got to start with Chase Mydroth and his major league debut. We've seen him make a double play, scored all the way from first. What do you like about him?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like. You know, we were really excited to get him to be a part of that Crochet deal. And then coming over here, we knew he was a good player. We knew he really could control the zone well. It's consistent quality at bats, and it's been a pleasant surprise seeing how good the defense is too.
I've talked to some of the Red Sox, and they said they didn't want to put him in that trade. And I'm sure giving them a top quality starter in Garrett Crochet, you guys said no, he's got to be there. I mean, is that how it worked out?
Yeah, he was the tipping point in the deal. The way it worked out, it didn't seem like it was going to come to fruition, and it was early in the morning that I think it was the last day of the deadline or the winter meetings, and they called Getsy that morning, and the conversations kind of took off from there. And then once they were willing to include Mydroth with the other three guys, it was enough for us to do the deal. We felt really good about it.
He was in spring training with the White Sox. I know Will Venable told him some things that he needed to work on, sending him down to AAA. Why was this the right moment to bring him up to the big leagues?
I mean, injuries is part of it. I think opportunity. We felt like he was in a really good spot. Some guys go down and don't handle the the demotion well. He did a great job of just going down there, getting right to business, and he hit the ground running from day one and hadn't looked back.
Ideally, which position would you like to see him play? Because he told me he can play any of the infield positions, but which is his best?
You know what? He can play everywhere. I think the shortstop was where we really wanted to see if he could, if it was a legit shortstop. That's the hardest position, outside of catcher to play in the big leagues. And he's got great hands, great feet, and he makes all the routine plays. So, and he'll surprise you with some of the plays in the hole too. So, feel really good about him over there. But I think the versatility really fits our roster well too.
Gets the start at second base here tonight. Is this now the chance we'll see him on an everyday basis at either second or potentially shortstop?
Yeah, he's up here to play. We feel really strongly about young guys coming up here and playing. He'll probably go through some growing pains as most young players do, but we want him to go through it and get the exposure of playing every day, make the adjustments, because we feel like he's going to be a piece here long term.
One of the things that the Sox have to address is back end of the bullpen. In your minor leagues, do you have a guy that maybe you can convert, or do you have somebody you have your eye on who might eventually be able to close?
Yeah, I think one guy that comes to mind, he's actually throwing right now in Birmingham, is Grant Taylor. Big time stuff. He was one of the standouts in spring training this year, and from a stuff standpoint, there's people pushing for him to come up, at the start of the year, but he's getting his workload underneath him. He's battled some injuries the last couple of years, but the stuff is elite. And it's real power, it strikes, and we'll be. If he's not a starter, he's going to be a really good back-end reliever.
He dominated in spring training. I mean, you looked at that stuff and it was eye-popping, and you thought to yourself, this guy needs a little experience, but when he gets it, he's going to be a real valuable member of this organization.
Yeah, he's somebody that can move quickly. It's a matter of health for him and just getting some reps, but the stuff right now plays. It's a power fastball. He was up to, I think, 101 this spring, and the breaking ball is nasty. It's a hard breaker, and he's got a lot of weapons to get swing and miss, which is what you need up here in the big leagues.
All right, so Davis Martin, just a 2-out walk there. Let's talk about this starting rotation a little bit, starting with Sean Burke, named opening day starter. What do you like about the starting rotation for the Sox?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of highlights so far. I think you have a lot of young guys who haven't really established themselves as major league starters outside of Perez, but the stuff's there. You can see the pieces. Burke's showing you what he can do. We got to see it a little bit last year at the end of the year, and he had a fantastic start his first time out, and he's going to continue to get better and better as we go through the year. Davis, with the stuff he has, he's got multiple weapons to attack hitters, and he can beat you in different ways every night out. So feel really good about him. Cannon, we got to see it a lot last year. He's going through a little bit of a growing pains here early, but we saw what he's capable of last year, and there's a lot of upside there. And Martin's just been a nice stabilizing force for us. With having so many young guys, and he's come out and he's pitched as good as anybody in baseball this year, being able to go deep into games. And I think one of the bright spots so far this season has been Smith. Being a Rule 5 pick, not having any major league experience coming in, and what he's been able to do has been really impressive.
All right, we've got to dig into Shane Smith, because a lot of people have opened their eyes and that he looks legit. How did you know he should be the #1 pick in the Rule 5 draft?
Yeah, it's
this one hit down the left field line. It's a fair ball off the bat of Alex Bregman. Devers, he's going to be held at third. And it's going to be a 2-out double for the Red Sox here in this third inning.
Yeah, going back to Smith, he's a guy that we felt really good when we were in the room talking through it. From the scouting side, from the analytical side, everything matched up. Everything that we had on him was the makeup was the makeup was tough. He was somebody that was going to come up here and not be in awe of the bright lights and pitching in a major league stadium. And the stuff is multiple pitches that he can throw strikes with, and it's actually been even better. The stuff's ticked up since he's got over here, so he's been really, really impressive.
Did you know he had that changeup, which can be devastating?
I mean, it's one of the best pitches in the big leagues right now, and to his credit, he put a lot of work in the offseason, and that's something that he came back with, and it's been a real weapon so far.
Davis Martin in a bit of a jam here in this top of the third inning with 2 down. Facing the cleanup hitter, Tristan Casas, with runners at second and third. One pitch, popped him up. Shallow center, Robert Jr. is coming in, and he will make the grab. Robert Jr. is due up first when we come back. Josh Barfield, stay with us?
Yeah.
All right, love it.
Welcome back to Friday Night All Access. I'm here with Jake Amaya, driving in a couple runs there with that double. Take me through that at bat and what you were looking for there.
Really trusting the game plan. Talking to a few teammates, looking over the stats and stuff like that. And one, I'm not hitting well, so just trusting the plan.
When you strike early like that, what sort of momentum can that build for this lineup?
Everything. I mean, you got Chase coming in with his debut, so I'm going to give him a little comfortableness, I guess. But yeah, it means everything. I mean, coming off of last week, that's what we need to do is come out swinging.
All right, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
All right, Brooke, appreciate that. Alongside Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. Josh Barfield, Assistant General Manager for the White Sox, here in the booth with us. Josh, something we've heard consistently is trust the process. And you see a guy like Jake Amaya come through here with a 2 RBI double. What does that mean for this White Sox team? Trust the process.
Yeah, just keep doing the right things, right? It's not adding up to wins yet. We're going through a tough stretch right now, but we're doing a lot of things well. Offensively, one of the things that we prioritized going into the season was, having quality at bat, swinging at the right pitch, and being stubborn to that. And, so far we've been one of the best teams in baseball at that. So it's continuing to do the little things. I mean, for the most part, we're pitching well. You got to make the little plays. There's always going to be plays that come up in the game that could be the difference between a win and a loss. And right now we're not doing those things. But I think Will and the staff has got the team in a good spot, and I expect it to continue to get better.
Your father played in the big leagues. You played in the big leagues. When did you decide that you want to go into the front office?
When I got done playing, most guys, you don't get to really decide when you're done playing. The phone just stops ringing one off season. And, I was fortunate enough to, run into Dave Stewart in the off season, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. He had just gotten the GM job with the Diamondbacks and asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. So he brought me over as an intern, and I got to kind of work my way up through the organization. And I love the game. I love the game. I love being around the guys. I love watching the game, and it's been something that's been part of my whole life. So it was kind of a natural fit, and I've enjoyed every step along the way.
We show a replay of Luis Robert Jr.'s at bat. It was called an E2 catcher's interference on Blake Sabol. Here it is. Yep, nicked the mitt. Everyone's trying to steal strikes nowadays. Can we dig in on Luis Robert Jr. a little bit? We've seen his walks tick up. We've seen his bat speed tick up. The results aren't there yet. How do we feel about where he's at so far this season?
Yeah, again, the underlying stuff, you know, he's doing some things well. It's not showing up as hits yet consistently, but, you know, he's healthy, number one, which is always a big key for him because he's one of the most talented guys in baseball when he's healthy. You know, he's playing good defense. Now it's just the consistency of the at-bats, and we're seeing him getting close, right? He's laying off tough pitches, and, you know, I would expect him to get hot here soon.
Well, if you can give him the sign to steal, this is a good guy to steal on. So we'll see what happens in this sequence. But he's one of the best base runners we have. And last year, at least, when he wanted to, he was able to steal. I mean, is that going to be part of his game this year also? Yeah,
I think so. You've already seen him this year being more aggressive on the bases. You know, there's a game a couple days ago where he had 3 attempts in a game, and I think he's going to continue to push the envelope again. He's feeling good, and when he's feeling good, he's able to do some things on the field that others aren't. There he goes.
Speaking of it, and Sosa will foul that one off.
You know, Will and the staff have made it a point, especially early on in the season, as we're not scoring as many runs as we like to, is trying to be the aggressor, trying to push the envelope. We got some guys that can run, so taking advantage of that speed.
Well, this is not going to be a power-laden team, so that's a really good plan. I think Will has done a great job of using speed when it's there for him.
Yeah, you got it. Here he goes again.
Throw it out to second, and Luis Robert Jr. with a stolen base here in this 3rd inning.
Yeah, as much as we can put pressure on the opponent, I think that's what we're trying to do.
Gets a good jump, and once again, not a great throw. You can run on Sabol all night if they get the opportunity. Now we'll see if Lenine can take the ball to the right side and move along Robert.
Sosa pulls this one, but it goes foul. All right, 2 other big pieces that we talk about in the minor league system: Edgar Caro and Kyle Teal, 2 catchers highly regarded in AAA right now. Where are they in terms of their development?
Yeah, they're not far off. They've both gotten off to nice starts in Charlotte this year. Caro especially, he's been swinging the bat really well from both sides, and he's done a good job. We've kind of challenged him with continuing to improve behind the plate, and he's taken the challenge and really done a good job with it so far. And Teal's a guy that we were really excited to get over here in the trade, and he can really swing the bat. Really talented offensive player. We got to see that a little bit in spring training, and he's gotten off to a pretty good start as well.
Tapper down the 3rd baseline, tough play for Bregman, bare hands, and will throw out Sosa as Robert Jr. gets to 3rd with 1 away.
Time now for the T-Mobile coverage cam, and this is just an outstanding play by Bregman. That's one of the things they really like about him, is the fact that he can pick it at 3rd. He gets it there in plenty of time, and normally you don't see this with a bare hand and throw it in the same motion, but Bregman's been able to do that his entire career, and they really like him as one of the team leaders of this team.
Infield comes in for the Red Sox with Andrew Vaughn at the plate, just 1 away here in this 3rd inning. We're speaking to Assistant General Manager Josh Barfield here in the booth, breaking down the White Sox roster. We get a chance to talk about fantasy baseball because so many people love to get into it. It's a big thing now. You do it for a living. What is that like, being a part of the front office, being a part of all the moves that are made?
It's a lot of fun. I think it's a challenge, right? I think every day there's different pieces of it. I think that a lot of things that I think the casual fan wouldn't even think about that goes into the day-to-day process. But we got a great group here. We know we have a lot of work ahead of us, but it's a challenge. We enjoy coming to the park every day, trying to figure it out. And we have a lot of creative people here, so we have to be creative in how we come up with some solutions and how we look to improve the team every day. And, so far I think, we've done a decent job of attacking that.
What is something you think would surprise the common fan about what you have to do on a daily basis?
I just think there's so many moving parts when you're talking about a major league team and a major league roster. I mean, even you look at today, we had a guy go down with Ellard, and you have to make a roster transaction, and the AAA teams in Jacksonville, so you're scrambling trying to get them to the airport in time to get here for the game, which as you're making these moves, and unfortunately we've had a few of those the last 3 or 4 days, so I've become very aware of all the flight patterns from Jacksonville into Cleveland and Chicago over the last few days.
There's today's roster moves with Frazier Ellard with a hamstring injury. We've seen a lot of injuries already early in the season, so you guys have had to make a lot of early moves. So we can understand there's a lot of moving pieces that play a part of this and keeping that 40-man roster intact.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things, because you go through it, that's part of the game, and I think you see a lot of teams going through the injury bugs early on. You know, March, April is when you see the most injuries in a season, typically. So, but I think one of the things that we've been able to do this year, a little better than last year, is have that extra layer underneath of the major league roster. So we've been able to bring in guys, whether it was some of the NRIs or guys we've added to the roster here.
Abreu coming in and right, and Robert Jr. will stay put. And that's why you back up home plate, as Newcomb was there as the ball got past the catcher, Sable.
Well, you're talking about a Gold Glove right fielder, and that ball wasn't hit all that far. So Luis is tagging up. He wants to see where the throw goes, and as soon as he realizes that the throw is going to get there, he doesn't take off. Now, you can't anticipate it getting away from the catcher, but it's tough to score on that one anyway.
Michael A. Taylor was one of the pieces that you guys brought in the offseason, a guy who can play all over the outfield. Also use his speed. We saw him with an infield bunt in his first at bat in the second inning.
Yeah, you know, he can do a number of different things to beat you. I think the thing that we really like about him is the outfield defense. You know, having somebody that can play all 3 positions. If we want to give Louis a day, he can go out there in center and be an elite defender out there. And you know what he's always been able to do against left-handed pitching. There's some power there, and he's always hit left-handers well. So. And the makeup, he's been a great addition to the clubhouse, and you know, really been a good influence on a lot of the young guys.
How difficult is it to acquire power?
It's very difficult. You know, in today's game, you pay a premium for power. So, you know, trying to identify guys, whether it's through waivers, whether it's through trades, you know, and target guys like that can come in and bring some power to the lineup, because that's something that, you know, overall we've kind of lacked the last couple of years.
With the way the game is going, we've seen a lot of guys with power strike out a lot. Is that something you can live with, especially as you bring up power guys in the minors? Well, I guess we won't get a chance to answer that question. We will thank Josh Barfield, Assistant General Manager. Always a good time spending here in the booth.
Good to see you.
Enjoyed it, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to stay here with Garrett Crochet back here in Chicago. I remember it was my first broadcast here with the White Sox, making his first career opening day start, made the All-Star team. Josh Barfield and the rest of the front office guys did a nice job getting him through the entire season. And we're going to welcome him back here to Chicago. Let's send it over to the PA announcer, Gene Honda.
He was the White Sox first-round pick in 2020, making his major league debut that same season and becoming the first in his draft class to be promoted to the big leagues. In 2024, he was named the MLB Pitcher of the Month in June, an AL All-Star, and the AL Comeback Player of the Year. He racked up 209 strikeouts in 146 innings pitched last season. Fans, please welcome back to the South Side, Garrett Crochet.
Good to see Garrett Crochet back here in Chicago. Let's send it over to Brooke, who's got the manager, Will Venable.
Well, the Red Sox were able to create some traffic on the base pass there, but what do you make of the way Davis Martin was able to pitch out of those jams to limit the damage?
Doing a good job. He's attacking these guys, talk about being aggressive in the zone, especially with the fastball up, and he's doing a good job.
Jacob Mayo with that 2 RBI double. How important is that when you're trying to create some momentum early on?
Yeah, we told these guys we want to be aggressive and remain aggressive the entire game. They did a nice job of that so far.
He said he wanted to get some help for his guy Chase Maedra, who's making his debut. What was your message to him before going to the game tonight?
Just be yourself. You know, he's here for a reason. Just go out and do those things.
All right, thank you so much, Will.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
He is here for a reason, and he has looked good so far in his big league debut with the White Sox.
Well, we know he's got some speed, and we know he can play just about anywhere on the infield, and that's going to come in handy.
Trevor Story leads off this fourth inning. 5, 6, 7 in the Red Sox lineup due up here against Davis Martin. A ground ball gets through into center field. And Story with a single to start this fourth.
Fourth hit of the night for the Red Sox. It's a fastball that is a pretty good pitch on the outside corner, but Story takes it right back up the middle, and now he is a threat to steal.
Story was the guy who drove in the winning run in the bottom of the 11th inning on Thursday for the Red Sox at home. This half inning is brought to you by the Illinois Lottery. Actually saved the Red Sox from being swept at home against Toronto.
They said Toronto was looking pretty good. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. looking pretty good with that new contract he just signed.
Omar Narvaez takes that one off the mask.
This happens to catchers all the time, and it usually comes in bunches. Quinn Wolcott asking him if he's okay. Does he need some time? That's a professional courtesy.
Mentioned Vlad Guerrero Jr. 14-year contract extension for $500 million. 0-2 here from Martin. Changeup, did he bite? Yes, he did. Adrian Johnson at third base. The crew chief says strike 3.
This is what Adrian Johnson saw, and he thought it was too much. Ray, you can't believe it, but he'll take a seat.
First pitch to Campbell is fouled away behind the plate.
Now the Red Sox are trying to do what the Tigers did to Davis Martin, which was attack the first pitch in the zone.
Christian Campbell with a single his first time up in the second inning. Campbell was in that battle to see who would get second base to start the season for the Red Sox, as that one looked like it might have caught a piece but called a ball. Something that helped him really make this team. He can also play the outfield, so a veteran, not a veteran, a versatile guy. On the ground and foul.
Nice play by the ball guy. That was a hard hit ball. Fortunately on the left side of the line.
Who's the lucky fan that gets a souvenir now? One ball, 2 strikes to count. The pitch from Martin. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good life movement with that fastball for Davis Martin.
That's 4 strikeouts. And he just buzzed this fastball off the plate and threw it by him. You love as a pitcher to see guys expanding their zone. That was a good 3 inches off the corner.
4 strikeouts now for Davis Martin. And for Martin on the mound, this will be pitch number 50 in this ball game. Running start at first, throw down from Narvaez, and that one gets into center field. Story will scoot over to third.
Martin never saw him. I mean, he took off when Davis still had the ball in his hand, and that's something that the Sox pitchers did a lot last year. They haven't done it much this year, but you can see him. Davis has the ball. He still has the ball, and Story is off to the races. So that's his 5th stolen base. It'll go E2. He winds up at third.
So stolen base E2 with 2 away. And now Davis Martin will have to deal with another jam here. This one coming with 2 outs in his 4th inning. Two from Martin. And Narvaez locates the ball underneath him. That keeps Story at 3rd.
That's one of the things that the pitcher has to do. When the catcher can't find the ball, you got to tell him where it is, because Story was coming down the line. This fortunately hit Quinn Wolcott. Otherwise, this is to the screen and it's a run. Bounces by Narvaez, off Wolcott. And Story comes an eyelash from being hung out to dry.
White Sox took the early 2-0 lead, scoring both runs in the 2nd. As Davis Martin trying to keep the Red Sox off the board here in this 4th inning. 2-2. And Sable just getting a piece. Sox fans, join us at the ballpark tomorrow, April 12th, as the White Sox take on the Red Sox at 3 o'clock. First 15,000 fans in attendance will receive this, a 1920 jersey hoodie presented by Rate. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos.
It's good looking. We've got one up here and they're gorgeous.
All right, Steve, what do you think?
I think it's beautiful, and it has the advantage on a night like tonight. You can wear the hood, but the logo is just great.
1920 jersey hoodie presented by Rate. If you come to the ballpark tomorrow, you can go home with this. 2-2. And another one fouled away by Sable.
This will be a good time for Davis to break out that changeup. If he can just sink it low and away from Sable, he's just sped up his bat with that fastball. There was a change in a good spot, but Sable was able to fight it off, foul it off, and keep the at bat alive.
Talk about Sable being in there because Connor Wong is injured right now, currently on the 10-day injured list. On Monday, fractured his pinky with catcher's interference. 2-2. Whoa, watch out.
Fortunately, that's why the net is there, because that would have been a screamer into about the 2nd row of the stands.
And the camera well, they went scurrying. Tenth pitch of the at bat. Got him. Davis Martin. 3 strikeouts in the 4th inning. And he strands that run at 3rd. It's the White Sox with a 2-0 lead.
Oh, beat it, beat it, beat it. Safe! Oh, roll me one up right here. Beat it!
Our thanks to Brooks Baldwin for wearing the mic tonight. Get inside the dugout. I mean, you can tell as Baldwin will fly this one to center field. You can tell the guys are in each at bat this season. We're not seeing the results just yet, but you can feel that they're all rooting and pulling for each other in the entire game.
I think Will set the tone in spring training. He talked to these guys about how they're going to have to play together as a team. 26 men all pulling in the same direction. And although at this point we haven't seen the results, they haven't seen the results.
Chase Mydroth, a little ole at first from Casas. And let's see how they score it. It is a hit. Chase Mydroth, first career big league hit. And they will bring that ball into the dugout.
But first they have to authenticate it. It goes in the dugout, but the authenticator will authenticate it, and then it will be the official first hit in the career of Chase Mydroth. He takes it the other way, and this pitch is out away, and that's one thing Chase is going to do. He's going to hit the ball where it's pitched. It was a one-hop rocket, and Casas just got eaten up by that.
First career Major League Baseball hit for Chase Mydroth. Just got into town last night. Had to turn off his phone so he could concentrate. He started off a double play, walked and scored from first base, so now his first hit.
I think our fans are really going to like him because he can play everywhere. He makes contact. He has very good solid at bats. And he's only 23 years old. He's going to get a lot better.
And we heard assistant general manager Josh Barfield tell us in the booth they're going to give him the opportunity to play every day, whether it be at second base or shortstop. They want to see what he can do.
And when you bring up a guy with the talent he has acquired in a trade, you're bringing him up to play him. You can learn something by sitting on a major league bench, but at 23 he's got to be out there every day because the league has a lot of lessons to teach him, and they want him to learn them as quickly as possible.
Ground to the right side. Casas slips out of his glove, and there's no play at first as Narvaez is safe.
Well, our Sox have figured out where to hit the ball. We'll take another look at it. Casas decides he's going to go to second. That's the good part. He doesn't get the throw off, and nothing Newcomb can do except go to the bag. And not only does he drop the ball, but he slips. And there's runners at first and second with only one out.
Well, fielding has been an issue for the Red Sox to start this season. They came into the game with 8 errors over their last 5 games. They now have 15 errors. That leads Major League Baseball early in the season.
Well, it's not the outfield that's one of the problems for it. But this Boston team knows they're better than they've been playing to this point. But they're in a division that's awfully tough. They can't afford to get too far down, because Toronto is a lot better, and of course you know about the Yankees.
Most infield errors this season. The Red Sox just one behind Cleveland. Speaking of the Yankees are back in the Bronx tonight, where they'd have 22 home runs in 6 games already this season. It was also the story for the Red Sox last season, at the infield having a ton of errors.
Yankees down in that game early to the Giants, who are pretty good this year. Yankees losing 5-1 in the bottom of the third.
That's where the torpedo bat really started taking off. Yankees, they were belting all those home runs at home.
One guy who doesn't use it is a guy who doesn't really need anything, and that's Aaron Judge.
Jacob Amaya, RBI double in his first, 2 RBI double in his first at bat. But he looks at that one, strike 3. Miguel Vargas walked in his first plate appearance, but it was an 11-pitch at bat. He was battling.
Well, he kept fouling off good pitches and waiting to see if Newcomb would come and try to get him. But eventually, he earned the walk. Now, nothing came of it, but that's a lot of pitches for a leadoff hitter to see.
StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. With 2 away in this 4th inning, there's 2 on for Miguel Vargas at the plate. See what he does in the leadoff spot. He sees more pitches than any other spot for him in the lineup.
He had a very good swing in the 2nd inning, flying to center field. But to me, he's seeing the ball pretty well against Newcomb. And like every other night, line drives will go out of the park here, especially to left or left center field.
Good hitting count here. 2 balls, no strikes to Vargas. Takes a big rip and delivers it into left. Mydroth, he will score easily. Narvaez, he's hustling. He's got the windmill. They're sending him. Here comes the plate, offline, and Narvaez is in there. Vargas drives in 2, and the White Sox, take a 4-0 lead.
We told you about the good at bat in the 2nd, and it turns into 2 driven in. This cutter is upstairs. Miguel goes up and gets it. And then it's off to the races for everybody.
Officially ruled a 2 RBI double, with Vargas advancing to 3rd on the throw.
That's 6 driven in this year for Miguel. And he does like the top of the order.
Luis Robert Jr. little dink to center field, and it drops in. Vargas scores. It's a 5-0 White Sox lead here in the 4th.
2nd run driven in this year, as Luis gets one off the end of the bat. This is actually a very good pitch. He just goes out and gets it. Drops it into center field, over Campbell, in front of Rafaela, and the Sox in business.
Steve, we're seeing something here tonight that we haven't seen much of so far this season. Timely hitting with runners in scoring position. All 5 runs scored tonight coming with 2 outs.
Well, they're making good solid contact against Newcomb. And even when they don't, the Red Sox have been very generous defensively. Something, if you're not going to score a whole lot of runs, you can't really afford to do. Once you start giving a team 4 or 5 outs in an inning, it's going to cost you some runs.
There goes Robert Jr. Throw down to 2nd, and his 2nd stolen base tonight. He's got that green light anytime he gets on first.
Well, you can tell that he's feeling very good. He got a great jump back in the 3rd inning. Here in the 4th, a better jump, and no chance at all for Sable to get him at 2nd base.
Lenyn Sosa with an RBI opportunity here. The White Sox 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position so far tonight.
That's something that's a radical departure from what we've seen early. Sox are taking advantage of everything the Red Sox are giving them.
The other thing we'll see in the starter Newcomb is pitch count. It's getting close to 90 here. That was pitch number 88 on the ball game.
Well, it's just a matter of time until somebody starts to get up in the Red Sox bullpen. Something Alex Cora doesn't want to do is go to the pen this early.
Sosa delivers into right. Luis Robert Jr. He will score. It's 6-0. White Sox on top. All 6 runs have scored this ball game with 2 outs.
That's a change, and it's a very good pitch, except if it winds up in right field, which it does. 4th run batted into the year for Lenyn, getting a start at first base for the first time in his major league career, and driving home the 6th White Sox run.
Andrew Vaughn 0 for 2 tonight. Well, Will Venable said he wanted to stack the lineup with righties tonight. 8 righties versus the lefty, and it's paying off here with 6 runs. Fastball missing down. 2 balls and a strike to count to Vaughn.
Boston pen is going. One way or the other, you'd think for Newcomb this would be his last inning of work.
White Sox scoring 2 runs in the second, putting up a 4 spot here in this 4th inning to take a 6-0 lead. Two. White Sox have forced the starter Sean Newcomb to throw 30 pitches here in this 4th inning. 2-2 again. And Sosa was off with that pitch. Two out runs and the 2 wins. White Sox with 9 runs. The 10 losses, just 5. Sent to right field, backing up is Abreu. And at the wall, he will make the catch. Time now for some American Sail fun at home.
talking now to Martin Perez, who makes his start tomorrow. Before we talk about you, I want to talk about this guy on the mound. What do you make of what you've seen from him here tonight?
He's turning a lot of strike. I think he's aggressive and, he made a couple of adjustments from last game, and I think he got good rhythm, so keep going.
How about this lineup rallying in the fourth? As a pitcher, how much can you appreciate that?
We need it. I mean, we need to put a couple runs in the board because we've been pitching good. I know it's cold, and their bat is not too hot, but we're getting better. We're getting hot, and I think we got to continue to pitch and make a good plays because we need to win this game.
Well, like I said, you're making your start tomorrow. How would you describe what your confidence level on the bump so far this season?
Good preparation, at the weight room, mentally I'm ready, and when it's a game time, I just go outside and compete and trying to have fun every time. I mean, because that is one thing that I always have in mind. When you go out there, you have to enjoy what you're doing, and I really enjoy it, and I'm just trying to hit the glove every time when they call the pitch.
You talk about preparation. What's a night like before your start compared to your other night offs?
It's the same. I mean, I just watch the hitters from my opponent team and trying to see where they're not swinging and what is the pitch that they don't like it. And I'm going to have Omar behind home plate tomorrow. It's going to be fun. And I think we're ready to do a great job tomorrow.
Yeah, how about the opportunity Omar's getting? What do you appreciate about his approach behind the plate?
He's a smart guy behind home plate. So, and I think, nice play, Robert. I think, he called me, he got me a couple games in spring training, and I think our communication is really nice, and hopefully we can do the job done tomorrow.
Martin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you in the booth.
All right, Brooke, how about this closing speed from Luis Robert Jr.?
The key on that play, and it's not as easy as Luis made it look, you have to keep your head from moving, because if your head moves, you're going to miss the ball. And you could see Luis's head. When he slid, his head was right there, looking at the ball, concentrating, making sure that that ball doesn't get away. That's a difficult play. You can tell he's feeling great. He's stealing bases. He's getting a hit. Playing in center field very well. And look, at the top of his game, he's still one of the best around. We haven't seen it yet, but we're going to see it from him.
0-2 to Devers. And a swing and a miss. Davis Martin. He's got that good stuff tonight. Just a 9-pitch fifth inning.
Things go in there to create the rally in the bottom of the fourth. Miguel, what's your mindset when you're stepping into the box when you got 2 outs and you have an opportunity to keep the inning alive?
you know, it was a good opportunity for me, for the team to score some runs and, you know, get our lead bigger. And I think, you know, just trying to have a good at-bat and try to drive the runners.
6 runs scored here tonight. We're with 2 outs. What does that say about the fight you're seeing from this lineup here?
I mean, I've been seeing, you know, from the start of the season, we've been fighting. You know, today is a good example when we stick with our approach and our plan. I think good things gonna happen.
Real quick, what's this?
You know, that's the wolf sign. That's from Nick Madden. Ask him.
I saw that on third. I saw that. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you. How about the burners from Michael A. Taylor? I wasn't sure if he was going to stop at second, but he went to third.
Looked like he got a slider and drilled it. No chance at all for Rafaela to make this play. Michael A. can run. He sees an opportunity here and he says, you know what? I'm going to keep on going. I don't think they can get me.
Officially ruled a double E8. So the 3rd error charged to the Red Sox tonight. A 1 count here to Brooks Baldwin with the infield in for the Red Sox. And the changeup missing, 1-1 the count. This half inning is brought to you by St. Xavier University.
A new pitcher in the game, Josh Winchowski. And for Brooks, a chance to drive home run number 7.
One, 2, and a swing and a miss on that slider. How about the day for Chase Mydroth in his Major League Baseball debut?
Well, he was on the front end of a double play. Pretty happy about that. And he scored a run all the way from first base. He was pretty happy about that. But not as happy as he was about that. His first major league hit. And that is really exciting.
Had his family and friends in the house. Said his agent took care of everything, so he didn't have to worry about it. He's got a little swag to him, too. I like him.
I think he's a very confident young man because he has some talent.
Shakes his head no. Ball 2.
He's also got a very good eye. That pitch was probably an inch off the inside corner. And he just looked at it.
The young guy just smiles and will reset himself back in the box with a little wink. Oh, he's going to fit it nicely here. Winkowski right down the middle for strike 1.
You would think he was going to get a fastball here, and if it's middle away, he's going to go that way. Let's see what Winchowski decides to throw.
(3-1) and the cutter missing outside. Ball 4. Second walk for Mydroth.
Download the Chicago Sports Network app so you can stream live White Sox games and stay up to date on all your favorite Chicago sports teams. Download the CHSN app and stream today. So Mydroth has a 1,000 on base percentage. I would say, all things considered, that's pretty good in your first major league game with 3 at bats.
This is what he did in the minors. .438 on base percentage. And there's Campbell at second for the Red Sox. One of the things the White Sox also liked about Omar Narvaez is that because he was in camp with the White Sox for all of spring training, he knows this pitching staff very well. So when you call up a guy, it's not like it takes him time to adjust and figure things out.
That's one of the things he said was it was so important that he was in camp with the White Sox, because as a catcher especially, you come up, if you have no idea the movement of anything your pitching staff throws, there's going to be an adjustment period. For Omar, he said no adjustment period whatsoever.
Hits this one well to right field, but Abreu is there. Tagging from third, Taylor, he will score. Sac fly RBI for Narvaez, and it's 7-0 White Sox on top here in the 5th.
Nice at bat by Omar. He knew he had to lift this ball. He got it far enough to Abreu where the run could score easily.
Jacob Amaya is 1 for 2 tonight. He's a guy who understands the position that he's in right now. His glove is elite. That's why the White Sox have him playing middle infield, getting the start at short. But he will be the first to tell you that he has to be able to pick it up at the plate. And he delivered his first time up in the 2nd inning. He drove in 2 with a double.
And he started the scoring, and that really gave a lift to this ball club. Coming off an 0-6 road trip, you come in, you score early, all of a sudden you continue scoring, and Jacob Amaya was the guy that led the way.
Two outs here in this 5th inning with Mydroth on at first. 1-2 the count here to Amaya at the plate. There goes Mydroth, and the pitch is fouled away. Hey students, it is easier than ever to get your friends together for a White Sox game. You can sign up for Student Pass alerts and get exclusive access to lower level ticket offers. Text STUDENT to 244-769 to sign up, or you can visit whitesox.com/student for more information.
Winkowski had a couple of saves last year, 4-2 record and a 4.14 ERA.
That one buried in the dirt. 2-2 the count. The other thing Mydroth brings, he's got that speed advantage. You can send him. You can actually make some things happen on the base paths.
What I really liked, the pitch before this one, is he got a running start. He realized Winkowski wasn't looking at him, and he just took off.
Two. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and Amaya grounded to short. Story's throw is there. White Sox lead at 7-0 after 5.
outscored him, but 5 innings of 4-hit baseball. No runs, 6 strikeouts, and just the 1 walk. All things considered, he looks like the first time out, not the second time out against the Tigers.
Alex Bregman starts off the 6th inning. 3-4-5 in the Red Sox lineup for Davis Martin. And the first 2 miss, 2-0 the count. Bregman hit by a pitch and a double back in the 3rd. But Davis Martin has done a nice job pitching around traffic, not allowing a run to score so far here tonight.
Well, Davis has made the big pitches when he's had to. He got in a couple of jams, especially that 2nd inning with 2 on, only 1 out, through a double play ground ball to Sable. Got out of a jam in the 3rd inning.
This half inning is brought to you by Wintrust. Different approach, better results. Here's 3-2. And Bregman sends this one a long way to left field. Taylor, and it will make the catch in front of the wall. Thankfully, that one did not get out. Connor, what do you got?
We got news and we got notes from the perch, fellas. Lots going on in Major League Baseball, so let's get to it. Freddie Freeman is back for the Dodgers and on his bobblehead day, no less, so that's a win. How about the strikeouts, whether it's Spencer Strider in a rehab start or Spencer Schwellenbach? A lot of them. And Royals prospect Jack Caglione hit a ball 120.9 miles an hour and an at-bat in Double-A. That'd be the hardest hit ball in the bigs by 4.2 miles an hour this year. It would have been the 2nd hardest hit baseball in all of Major League Baseball last year, guys.
Pretty impressive, and the Sox certainly knew that. But they went after Hagen Smith.
Tristan Casas out ahead of that changeup, strike 1. It's just the 2nd time in Davis Martin's career carrying a shutout here into the 6th inning.
He's only had 1 1-2-3 inning, and that came last inning in the 5th.
0-2. Ooh, did not miss by much. As Adrian Johnson says, did not go around.
No good call because it was off the outside corner, but a perfect pitch at 0-2. Was a good change, but Casas was able to foul it off. Just a touch lower, and he probably gets a strikeout.
80th pitch of the game here for Martin. Popped up. Who's going to take over? It's Sosa.
Follow our Chicago White Sox in the Chicago Sports Network, presented by Nationwide Insurance Agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at jeffvuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
Well, Davis Martin's getting better and better. He is now retired 8 in a row, and there's 2 away here in the 6th inning. That slow breaking curveball, strike 1 to Trevor Story.
Well, after a leadoff single in the 4th inning by Story, 3 straight strikeouts by Davis Martin, and that kind of propelled him on the way.
Unfortunately for the Red Sox, the story for Trevor Story have been the injuries. Now in his 4th season after the big acquisition, they're hoping that this can be his first full healthy season with the team.
But with Colorado, he was just a great shortstop. Then he had a number of injuries that slowed him down. But the Red Sox certainly need his bat. They love his speed. And they got him playing short.
0-2. Tapper to the right side. Mydroth will make the play. 9 retired in a row for Davis Martin. It's been all White Sox.
The Mydroths. We have Cynthia and Greg Mydroth alongside some of Chase's aunts and uncles. Guys, it's been a long day for you, but this has to give you some sort of boost with the way Chase has been playing, huh?
It's pretty awesome. We were hoping it would go that way.
Just take me through the emotions, just coming to the ballpark and just getting ready for this debut, Cynthia.
I mean, it is just all surreal. I mean, it's amazing. It's surreal.
He said that you guys were the first people he called. When you found out that it was versus the team that drafted him, what was going through your mind?
He had told me about that was his dream a couple months ago after he got traded. He goes, I can't wait to face the Red Sox.
Maybe that's given him a little edge right here. Just take me through the morning. You guys got up at what time? 5:30, 3:30? What? How?
3:30 this morning.
3 o'clock this morning, and then our flight left at 5:30.
Wow, I mean, just to see him out here, just following his dreams, making them come true, just with all the travel ball, everything he has gone through, just as a mom, how much can you just appreciate this moment? Greg, I want to hear from you as well.
Like I said, it's just surreal. Like, this is what he has dreamed his whole life, since he was a little kid. I mean, this was it. There was no plan B. It was like, this is what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay.
I have no words. It's awesome.
And this is a good night for the Mydroth family, you guys, because Connor, his brother, actually plays for UC San Diego. They're playing St. Mary's, and he had a homer, right? His first homer of the season?
Yeah. Wish we could have saw it, but yeah, I just saw it online. It's like, have a night, huh?
I love it. Great night for the Mydroth family. Guys, back to you.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Brooke. Chase Mydroth, drafted by the Red Sox in the 4th round back in 2022 out of San Diego. And, of course, brought over here to the White Sox in the offseason in that big blockbuster Garrett Crochet trade.
Well, there's two ways to use a farm system. One, of course, is to stock your major league team. And if you can do that, that's usually pretty good. But another is to move them for something you really need.
On the ground to short. Story. And that'll do it for the 6th inning. It's the good Sox on top, 7-0. Fans 21 and over in attendance will receive a 1972 Dick Allen MVP bobblehead that's presented by Binny's. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos. Well, Davis Martin is now officially the deepest he has ever been as a starter. First time pitching into the 7th inning as a starting pitcher.
Well, it looked like he was going to have a rocky start in the 2nd inning. Gave up back-to-back hits to Abreu and Campbell, and then induced Sable to ground into a double play, and he's been pretty strong ever since.
For Davis Martin, this is his 22nd career start, and you can tell the confidence is just growing and growing. And his 2nd career start here versus the Red Sox, he's had success.
Well, he looked really good on September 6th. 6 innings, just 3 hits, and 1 run.
1-2 the count to Wilyer Abreu. Davis Martin sitting on a career high. He's tied his career high with 6 strikeouts tonight. This one hit hard, rifled down the right field line by Abreu. It'll be Baldwin coming up, throwing into 2nd, and a double to start this 7th inning. Connor.
All right, guys, last week a pipe burst at Advent Health Stadium, home of the Rome Emperors. They were going to play the Winston-Salem Dash, the High A affiliate of the White Sox. They had to reschedule everything. Thing of it is, Davie County Early College High School had their prom booked for the ballpark on Friday night. You only get one high school prom, so they decided to add the game to the ball, a very different kind of ball game. They had a better tagline. Prom wasn't built in a day. Remember, they're playing the Rome Emperors. Prom queen and king were announced on the field. Everybody wore tuxes and dresses. It was a great night at the ballpark for everybody, plus the seniors at prom.
That is awesome. The Dash president, I was reading an article about this. It was close to April 1st. He thought it was April Fool's joke. He said, really? You want me to throw a prom? But found a way to make it happen. Nicely done.
No, I think it's great. And as we know, it's a game of adjustment. Davis would gladly trade the run for a ground ball here in turn 2. Now Omar got a signal from the dugout to go out and take some time because the bullpen is starting to work, and it's Cam Boozer. Another former Red Sox pitcher.
Are you ready for your winning moment? Find it at Wind Creek Chicago Southland, where the action never stops. You can play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots. At Wind Creek, there's a win waiting for you around every corner.
And here comes Will, and that's going to be it. It's going to be 6+ for Davis Martin. Davis will walk out. We'll step out. And we'll be back with Cam Boozer after this.
Different. It's not a game.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game. Cam Boozer on for the 6th time. ERA of 3.6. He inherits runners at the corners. There's nobody out here in the 7th inning. And that's what he's going to use. 4-seamer. He leans on a lot, backed up by the cutter and the sweeper.
Cam Boozer, the former Red Sox, he was called up last season by the Red Sox at 31 years old, making his big league debut. As Davis Martin getting some congratulations for the incredible start.
Davis was very good tonight. Now he needs a little help from his pen. Bouncing back after a really tough outing against the Tigers. For a starting pitcher, that's gratifying.
1-1. Fastball's in there for Cam Boozer. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Sable. First and third, nobody out here in the 7th inning. Fly ball center field. Backing up is Robert Jr. This one will score the run from third. And the Red Sox will get on the board here in the 7th inning.
For Sable, first run batted in, and it puts the Red Sox on the board. It's a 7-1 game.
Center fielder Rafaela. Oh, and that one hit him.
Cold night, warm night, any kind of night. This is going to hurt. It gets him right above the right knee. And the hope is that it got more thigh than knee, because if that's off the kneecap, it could be problematic.
And on a cold night like tonight, you know that one's going to sting for a minute. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. You can check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Chicago White Sox.
Two on, only one out, and now we go back to the top with two left-hand hitters, Duran and Devers.
On the ground, Sosa will get one at second, back to first, and no throw.
Well, Duran's a burner, and that's about as good as you can make the throw to second base. Lanine's got a pretty strong arm. It's right on the money, but with the speed of Duran, there's really no chance for two. You watch him down the line, and he realizes to keep the inning alive, he's got to beat this play, and there is no play.
So Campbell's on at third, Duran's at first, and Rafael Devers will step in. Talked about his slow start, 0 for 19 with 15 strikeouts to start the season. And then coming into the night ever since then, 15 for 35, hitting .429. Seems like a guy who's accepted his role as the DH for the Red Sox.
At this point, that ship has sailed. He's the DH. Bregman's the third baseman.
Big swing and a miss, strike two.
You know, he had a couple of shoulder problems last year, and it carried over into the winter. He really didn't swing the bat. So when he came to spring training, he hadn't swung a bat at all, and it took him a while to get started. He actually pretty much had his spring training the beginning of this season.
Runners on at first and third with two down. 1-2 pitch from Boozer. And a good scoop by Narvaez to keep that one in front.
That saved a run, as Omar able to move to his left to keep that one from going to the screen. This is a slider, and Omar somehow was able to keep this one in front of him.
Two here to Devers. Fouls it back at 97. Devers knows he thought he had one there. He could drive.
Well, he's got pretty good power to the opposite field. We've seen that a lot at Fenway Park, where he takes it over the Green Monster. A little bit more difficult here, especially on a night like tonight.
The 2-2 again. Missing upstairs out of the zone. It's now full. Here's the payoff. And ball four. Bases loaded. Take advantage of one of our best offers this season. Get one ticket and 2 beers to select games starting at $19 with Miller Lite Baseball and Brews. Now, you must be 21 and over with a valid ID. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/brews.
Last thing he wanted there was a walk to the lefty to bring up Bregman, who almost hit it out of the ballpark last inning.
Up and in, strike one, Alex Bregman, who is 1 for 2 tonight, hit by a pitch and a double in the third. So 2 fastballs to start off this at bat to Bregman, and it's 0-2. If you're Boozer, where are you going here ahead in the count?
Well, you'd like to bury a slider, but with a guy 90 feet away, it's a pretty tough thing to do.
Oh, 2. There's the sweeper, and Narvaez able to keep the runner still at third.
Well, he buried it, but unfortunately it didn't elicit a swing. And Omar's having a good inning because this is another tough play. Puts the glove down to cover up the 5-hole and then angles the chest protector so the ball doesn't go by him.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Was inside off the plate, didn't miss by much, but Bregman's always had a pretty good eye.
th pitch here in this 7th inning for Boozer.
Cam tried to reach back, get a little extra on that, and Bregman was able to foul it off.
Bases loaded here in this 7th inning with 2 away. Boozer trying to get out of this jam. Two. Missing with the sweeper. And the count is now full with nowhere to put Alex Bregman.
Another really good stop. That one caught the edge of the plate. Took a strange hop, and Omar still was able to smother it.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. 3-2. On the ground, Vargas backhands. He's going to come to first with it. And the White Sox get out of the jam.
Just 1 run. Good backhand pick. And the easy throw across. And it's out of the inning with a 6-run lead. Davis Martin very happy, and he should be.
We start this bottom half of the 7th inning. It's the White Sox with a 7-1 lead over the Red Sox. Game 1 of this 3-game series. And Andrew Vaughn will lead things off. Lifts it high in the air to left field. Duran camping out at the warning track, and that's where it will die. Welcome back inside the booth alongside Steve Stone, John Triffin. Appreciate you joining us here on CHSN here tonight. How about Davis Martin for the first time in his career as a starter, throwing a pitch into the 7th inning. He was just spectacular tonight.
He had a great bounce back. It was a tough outing last time against Detroit. Tonight, he was throwing everything where he wanted it, keeping the Red Sox off balance, leaving with a 7-1 lead, and all things considered. For Davis Martin, he's got to be very happy, along with Ethan Katz, with this performance.
On the ground in the hole, and that one hops over the glove of Story at short. So base hit for Michael A. Taylor. Connor.
All right, guys, White Sox Charities announced a new initiative today. It is Grinder Ball Rule 45. It is in support of 2005 World Series champion closer Bobby Jenks in his fight against cancer. A donation to the Ronald McDonald House of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. $30 and an option to donate more gets you this beautiful t-shirt, also in support of a fantastic cause. Fellas, I assume you have made your donation and have the t-shirt on hand. It's a good one.
That's off the pitcher, and Baldwin will get to first. Look at the hustle from Taylor. He scoots to third. Everybody's safe.
I got to believe that's going to be a base hit. I mean, that was really hard hit. And Winkowski having a hard time. That's a line drive. He's going to feel that. He's got no glove. Moves across to try to get him out, and heads up base running by Michael Taylor.
So they rule that a single E1, allowing Taylor to advance to third.
For Brooks, his first hit of the night. Back-to-back singles as the White Sox look for a little insurance.
So after checking on Josh Winkowski, the Red Sox pitcher will stay in this ball game. And Chase Mydroth will step back up to the dish.
Well, he's had a perfect night. Couple of walks and a base hit, scored a run, scored 2 runs. What he doesn't have yet is what he's looking for here, his first major league run batted in.
Mydroth has a chance here with Taylor on at third, 1 away. There goes Baldwin, faking the throw, and he will take second.
With Brooks running and stealing second base easily without a play, you're out of the double play situation, and now instead of being back, the infield has to come in, which is much better for any hitter.
There's that patience that Chase Mydroth have shown in the minor leagues.
He's not going to swing at too many bad pitches. He's got a very good eye for a very young hitter.
Inside, ball 3. His parents in the stands, watching on proud. 3 balls, no strikes, and he's taken all the way for strike 1. Infield in for the Red Sox on this 3-1 pitch, and ball 4, third walk tonight for Mydroth. It's time now for a message from Powering Chicago.
At Par in Chicago, we build more than electrical infrastructure, we build the future. Our trained, qualified, diverse workforce knows electricity. Partner with Par in Chicago and build better construction, better careers, and better communities for generations to come.
White Sox trying to tack on more here in the 7th inning with the bases loaded, only one away. And the catcher, Omar Narvaez, stepping in. Narvaez getting the call up from Double-A Birmingham because of the injury to Corey Lee, who was placed on the injured list. Now, the good news on Corey Lee is that they had imaging done on that ankle. Nothing's broken, but it is a severe ankle sprain, so no timetable on when Corey Lee will be back. Narvaez couldn't hold that one up, and it's 0-2. Injury update on Mike Tauchman as well. We saw him pull up with a hamstring injury trying to round third in Cleveland. And it is ruled a grade 2 hamstring injury for Mike Tauchman. He's going to be out at least a couple weeks.
Well, that's going to be a tough one because it was a hamstring that put him on the shelf to begin with. He came back and re-injured the hamstring, and now last thing you want to do is bring him back and get him hurt again. But he meant a lot to the ball club because he was getting great at bats. He was swinging it very well, gave them another quality left-handed hitter, and unfortunately he's going to be on the shelf for a while.
0-2. And it was just a tough sequence. You lose the night before on a walk-off walk, and then here you are, you think you tie the ball game, and then Tauchman rounding the bag at third thinking he would score, and then he starts to pull up. Just another unfortunate injury early in the season. The White Sox bats have exploded here in game 1 of this series versus the Red Sox. A chance for more for Narvaez. Takes that slider down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Serves this one into left center field. It's going to get down. Taylor will score. Baldwin comes in behind him to score. And the White Sox pouring it on here at home. It's now 9-1 in the 7th.
You get called back from the minor leagues, and what do you do in your first game? Well, you drive in 3. Including this on a changeup. It's a very good pitch. Omar just goes down and gets it. Drops it into left center field. And the offense continues.
Yeah,
to
that's
put
what we're
up some
talking about.
runs.
That's what we're talking about. White Sox trying to end an 8-game losing streak. Here's the bottom of the order, Jacob Amaya.
That was just a touch wide of the plate.
Amaya fly ball to center, and Rafaela will make the catch for out number 2 here in this bottom of the 7th. New for 2025, the Sox are excited to offer fans a great way to commemorate milestone moments, experiences, and games at Rate Field. Fans can now purchase customizable commemorative tickets that can be personalized with your seat location and game date, plus the option to add a ticket display holder. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/commemorative. I love that because in this day and age, everything is going digital. It's nice to have something physical you can take home with you.
Well, I think the Mydroth family would probably like a couple of those for this auspicious occasion. Their son came up, got a hit, 3 walks, scored 2 runs to this point.
For Mydroth, who's currently on at second base right now, he's now the 5th White Sox player to reach in every plate appearance, now a minimum of 4, in his Major League Baseball debut.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, he's shown a very good eye. He also made a couple of good plays at second base.
And we're going to see a lot of him. He's going to get the chance to play every day now here for the White Sox.
Look, I think the easiest thing in the world to do is come to spring training with a chance to make the team, and then you don't make it. It's real easy to hang your head and go down and pout a little bit. But Chase didn't do that. He gave himself about a half hour and then realized that he had a job to do, and if he did it well, he would be back. And here he is in rapid dispatch.
Had a very honest conversation with Will Venable when he sent him down about why they were sending him down. They wanted him to be a little more aggressive earlier in the count, work on some things in AAA. And to his credit, took that feedback, showed them that he could take it and do it quickly, and here he is.
Also showed them that he could hit the ball out of the ballpark.
On the ground, and Bregman will step on the bag at third to end this 7th inning. Davis Martin had an outstanding performance on the mound for the starter for the White Sox. He will be in the hallway with Brooke Fletcher when we come back on the mic.
Start. Davis, after the outing versus the Tigers, how gratifying was it to come out and pitch the way that you did here tonight?
Oh, it was awesome. We did a lot of hard work in between starts, a lot of bullpen time, and game plan that we wrote up, executed to a high clip, and man, it does feel good.
The Red Sox, they were able to create some traffic on the base pass, but how were you able to stay composed and execute in those spots?
Just being there in those spots before, trusting your stuff, trusting your catcher, and trusting your defense. Defense made some great plays today. Chase at second base has the fastest release I've ever seen. So, but yeah, it was a good day, good defensive day. Omar behind the plate was really good as well.
You know, when you're getting the run support that you got here tonight, what does that do for your confidence on the mound?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you just throw your best stuff in the zone. You don't have to nitpick. You don't have to feel like you have to do too much. You trust your defense and you roll, and that's what we did today. So, yeah, run support was good. A lot of fun in the dugout right now.
I saw your reaction in the dugout after Cam Boozer was able to get out of that jam here. Just take me through that and the way he was able to perform in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, he came up and said, "Hey, I'm sorry." And I said, "Brother, I left you with first and third, no out, and you only let one score. So I should be thanking you and saying sorry to you." So, no, he did a great job, and that's what Cam does. He comes in, he does his work, and he's got incredible stuff. So.
All right, thank you so much, Davis.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Guys, back to you.
Brooke, awesome. All part of Friday Night All Access. We get a chance to hear from Davis Martin outside the clubhouse and the appreciation he has for the reliever, Cam Boozer.
Well, he's right about the release of Mydroth because it's just as quick as you'd expect. And so Joshua Palacios comes in right field. Brooks Baldwin coming in from the outfield to second base.
And that means the day for Chase Mydroth is done. Joshua Palacios, also one of the newest White Sox, was called up yesterday. Ooh. That one behind Casas.
There's a look at Penn Murphy, who's on for the 6th time. ERA is up there. He'd love to throw a clean inning.
Casas is 0 for 3 tonight. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Davis Martin was telling us about what the difference felt like for him pitching with the lead. Is it that drastically different for a starting pitcher when you've got the run support? Here goes Casas, sends this one down deep to right field. And Palacios will have to play it off the wall. Gets it back in quickly, but it'll be Casas with a leadoff double here in the 8th.
I think with a big lead, you can relax a little bit more. Every pitch is not like the World Series. So this one on the inside part of the plate. And for the first time tonight, Casas has a base hit. Turns it into a 2-base hit. When you have a very small lead or no lead at all, you know that every pitch you make could be a game ender for you. Now you get a few runs and all of a sudden you feel a lot looser. You have confidence that you can make the pitches you have to make, and if you do make a mistake, it's not going to kill you in the game. And I think that's the biggest thing with the team tonight, scoring 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 4th, and giving Davis Martin a big lead early.
We've seen a lot of walks given up recently over the course of this 8-game losing streak, but Davis Martin only giving up 1 walk tonight. 0-2. Yeah, he definitely went around. Strike 3 on Trevor Story.
Good slider, and cannot check it up.
Wheeler Abreu 2 for 3 tonight. Singled in the 2nd, doubled and scored in the 7th. Down the left field line, and that one turning foul. Take control of your game day with a 10-ticket flex pack. You can choose the games and seats you want. It's your season, your way. For more information, visit whitesox.com/ticket plans or call or text 312-674-1000.
White Sox bullpen starting to go again. Brandon Iser just called back, starting to get loose.
Isert called back because Frazier Ellard placed on the injured list with the hamstring injury.
A lot of injuries this week.
Can we just fast forward to some warmer weather?
That would be nice, certainly.
0-2. Sweeper trying to bend back, but didn't get to the plate. And it's 2-2.
That one did miss by much, but it did miss.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sends Abreu down to a knee. And there's 2 down.
That one had some depth to it. Not only did it move in, but it moved down. And he had Abreu well out in front. Abreu's had a good night tonight, but not that time.
After giving up the leadoff double, back-to-back strikeouts for Penn Murphy. And it's ball 1 to Christian Campbell. Movement with that sweeper, especially from that side angle, and righties tend to give up on that pitch pretty early.
Well, that's what Penn is depending on. Give it a little ground, see it snap over the inside part of the plate,
and then back him off with a little sinker inside. See the knees buckle once again for Campbell. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away here in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch from Murphy. Fooled him with the sweeper. 3 straight punch outs for Penn Murphy.
As our Sox are dominating their Sox.
Luis Robert Jr. starts off this bottom half of the 8th. 2-3-4 coming up in the White Sox lineup. Was that catcher interference again?
Yes.
That's the second time tonight with Luis Robert Jr. at the plate.
This one took the glove right off Sable's hand.
Robert Jr. on at first with nobody out here in his bottom of the 8th. As Sosa fouls that one away, 0-2. Sosa's 1 for 4. Drove in a run with a single back in the 4th inning. When the White Sox put up a 4 spot. At that point, it was a 6-0 lead.
I would say Chuck and Ozzie are going to feel pretty good about this one.
I know Chuck likes runs.
He does.
And the White Sox providing a little punch tonight in the lineup. There's Sosa coming up clutch again. This one all the way to the gap. Robert Jr. He'll be waved in. The throw to the plate, and he will score. An RBI double for Lenyn Sosa as the White Sox put up a 10 spot.
Second run driven in tonight by Lenyn as he gets a slider and hits it hard enough to take it all the way to the gap. It looked like Rafaela was going to cut it off, and then the ball just kept going. And Luis keeps going, and it's double digits. Five errors tonight for the Red Sox.
Keep them coming. This one to right center field. Rafaela. No, it'll be the right fielder Abreu. As Sosa will retreat back to second. For a preview of what's coming up on White Sox Postgame Live, presented by Yingling, let's check in with Chuck and Ozzie, who I know are pretty excited right now.
John, I'm ecstatic.
I love it.
Cold. Look at us.
Love
We're
it,
back
love it.
wearing winter jackets and scarves.
Oh, I was sick for the last 5 days, and now it's getting better.
I don't need this.
But you know what? If you play for the White Sox right now, you'll be playing, you'll be running around, you'll be very warm right now.
Right. Well, I'm very warm watching this. 10 runs for the White Sox. We have a lot to talk about on the postgame show. I think Ozzie's got a nickname for Chase Mydroth, so that's going to be fun. I don't know about this.
I hope he liked the nickname.
I don't know if he's going to like it.
I don't care. I'll be there tomorrow when they take batting practice.
All right. We'll see you guys on the postgame show.
It's not Little Hurt, is it?
No.
That's a good one, though.
That's a great one.
Hey, Dave's on camera.
Hey, hi, Dave. He's on pitch hitter right now.
Dave doesn't realize that. Hey, Dave.
You know what? We got to take those. We got to take these days.
Yes.
First 12 games of the season, White Sox put up a total of 35 runs. How about a 10 spot here tonight?
You know, you come back off a really tough road trip. You not only lose 6 in a row, but you get a lot of guys injured on that trip. And this is what this team needed. Just have one of those games where every pitch isn't life and death. The offense is there. The pitching was good. The defense was exceptional. And everything is just going perfectly for the good Sox.
You're also asking guys to trust the process. Stay with your approach at the plate. Look at the hard hit rate. Look at the analytics, even though you're not finding results. And Luis Robert Jr. even admitted at his locker today, he talked about it. He said, you know, I even changed things up because I wasn't getting the results, but now I'm back to the process. And now guys seeing results tonight. Swing and a miss, strike 3 from Taylor. And there's 2 away.
For Michael A. Taylor was a very good night. He scored 3 runs, stole a base, had 3 hits, including a double, and all things considered, just an outstanding effort from Michael A.
Brooks Baldwin, that one will get past Story. And Sosa, he's going to be waved home. The throw to the plate, and Sosa is safe. An RBI single for Brooks Baldwin makes it 11-1 White Sox here in this 8th inning.
Brooks driving in his 3rd of the year, takes this cutter and takes it through the left side. And then once again, you might as well keep running. Justin Jersley is proven very aggressive at 3rd base. He wants to put as much pressure as he can on the opposing defense and see if they can execute. And at least tonight, they haven't been able to do it.
Joshua Palacios making his White Sox debut. Palacios was called up yesterday. Did not make it into the game in Cleveland. When AAA Charlotte manager Sergio Santos told him that he's going to get called up, he said, "You know what? I hope I don't have to see you again." I asked Palacios, I said, "What kind of game can White Sox fans expect from you?" He said, "I'm a guy who hits the ball hard consistently. I don't strike out much, but I'm known for hitting the ball on the ground. I'm trying to get the little lift on my swing and get it in the air a little more."
Well, lift certainly is good if you have enough power to hit it out. But for guys without big power, lift is not something they're looking for.
2-2. Curveball missing inside, and it's now full. He came up after going to Auburn, drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays, and he said at the time the Blue Jays, they forced all their outfielders to play all 3 outfield positions. So he said he feels very comfortable playing anywhere. Sinker down the middle, strike 3. We go to the 9th with the White Sox up by 10. How about Chase Mydroth making it look easy at second? Chase Mydroth, first career big league hit.
He had told me about that was his dream a couple months ago after he got traded. He goes, "I can't wait to face the Red Sox."
Well, dreams do come true for Chase Mydroth. was on base all 4 plate appearances tonight. And the White Sox with a 10-run lead as we start this 9th inning.
Isert in the game to face Blake Sable.
(8-9-1) to the plate for the Red Sox here in this 9th inning. There's a lot of talk from Boston thinking that winning that walk-off on Thursday was going to help them get some momentum going as defensive changes. Maton's at first, Sosa is now at second, and Brooks Baldwin, for the first time in his big league career, he will play center field.
And a new pitcher. We told you about Isert. On for the 4th time. Time now for the upcoming schedule presented by Toyota. Boston in for 2 more, then the off day on Monday, and the A's come in for 3 before heading to these same Red Sox in Boston for a 4-game series.
Sosa at second, and there's one away to start this 9th inning. Well, this one feels a lot better. Finally getting some runs. White Sox capitalizing on 5 Red Sox errors, putting up here 12 hits tonight and 11 runs.
And Davis Martin was just outstanding. The key to this one was scoring early, giving a little comfort to Davis after a tough outing last time. He was brilliant tonight. The offense was there, the defense was there, and one thing the ball club will do is forget about this one because it will be over. But they'll remember how they got to what happened here tonight.
How about for Chase Mydroth? You would think a 23-year-old coming up to the big leagues for the first time, you would see some kind of sign of nerves. We didn't see any of that from his first at bat to his first play in the field. If anything, we saw a ton of confidence from him.
He looked really calm, very confident, and just went out there and did what he's done every step of the way to get here. It's not easy to get sent down. That's really tough. But he was able to do it, and he didn't stay down long.
Two and two the count to the center fielder Rafaela. And just getting a piece of that changeup. Well, Venable has had to mix and match this lineup with all the injuries that have popped up over the last week. And Isert, nice changeup, one away from putting this one away.
There's a nice of a 23-year-old getting his first look at the major leagues. He did just about everything right. His family was here. They were ecstatic, as you would expect, and there is his first major league hit.
I love Davis Martin's comment when he was on the mic with Brooke. He's probably got one of the quickest releases he has ever seen.
Well, we saw it on the one play at second base where he just seemed the ball just didn't spend a great deal of time in his glove.
Taylor in foul territory, and he ran out of room. If Taylor can't run it down, you know that that play cannot be made.
There is no doubt he's just an outstanding outfielder, and it doesn't matter what position you put him in. This was a really nice acquisition by Chris Getz and his staff.
Crowd of over 13,000 in attendance here, cheering for the final out of the ball game against the Red Sox. 0-2. All right, here's that flip on the double play from Mydroth.
It's a good solid throw, and they turned two, and later he made an even better delivery to get a real speedy Duran on a chopper in the infield.
Two balls, two strikes, the count here to Duran. Oh, that should have been a ball game.
Yeah, it had the whole plate. We'll watch it again.
So Eiser'd have to do it again. 3-2. And it doesn't matter. White Sox just dominant here in game one of this three-game series. Breaking up the 8-game losing streak with an 11-1 win. Cue the fireworks here on Friday night.
Everything went well for the White Sox tonight. Davis Martin and the offense. You factor in the defense, and kudos to Omar Narvaez behind the plate, because he had to stop a lot of tough pitches, and he was able to do every one of those. He handled the staff well, and just coming back to the team, it's not an easy task, but Omar was very good this evening.
For Brooke Fletcher, Connor McKnight, my partner Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. Thanks for joining us here on CHSN. Final score, White Sox with an 11-1 win. White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling comes your way next. Chuck and Ozzy, it's all yours.